Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a super duper long time since I've done one of these videos, but I just recently got a really cool camera and I'm super duper excited to show you it. Let's go check it out. So this camera right here is called the National Graflex. It was made by Graflex in around 1934. And it has some really cool features. One of them most notably is that it's an SLR that uses 120 film and has some really cool things that I want to show you about it. So let's get a little bit deeper. First off, you have your flip up lens. It's a 3.5 Graflex licensed Tessar lens. To use the camera, you rotate this about 2 clicks until it stops, and then you press over here. This camera itself has one functional shutter speed. You cannot actually adjust the shutter speed. What you do adjust is the slit size inside of this camera. So when you are cocking the shutter, you're going to see 2 shutters come across and close. Now when we cock it over here, let's bring it back again. You have to bring it back before you change the shutter size. I'm going to say change it to about 5. And now when I bring back the shutter, you can notice that it's smaller. So loading this camera is actually really easy, and there's something that it does that I want to show you guys that I think is super cool. You have 2 little things on the bottom that you're just going to slide down, then your back will slide off nice. Now the cool thing that I want to show you guys is that getting this in is actually pretty cool. It has these little for some reason I just absolutely love these. And then to actually bring your film across, you have to push this down. Now you free up your film transport. This is always free over here. Your film transport will lock it. Again, as with every old camera, you kind of have to get it started a little bit. Now you're ready to put your film back on. There is no pressure plate in here. It's actually so tight it doesn't require a pressure plate. You're gonna push this down and you're gonna rotate until you see number 1 show up in this ruby red window finder. You can set this down. Now you're ready to take your first exposure. Ten out of 10. Don't even need to review it. So I imagine you guys are wondering what I think about the National Graflex. And I think it's pretty amazing. I think that as long as you're looking at this camera through the correct perspective of a 1934 person, I think this is pretty awesome. And I think it makes some really cool, funky photos. I think that if you're looking at it as a device that you're going to take amazing pictures with, that you're going to make amazing, super sharp, you're not going to get that. This is very sharp up close, but it's not exactly there. It's kind of quirky. The camera's kind of quirky. The images kind of, they have this look like they're trapped in 1934. And I think that that is a beautiful look. And as long as you're going to a place where that look exists, I think that it's pretty awesome. This camera was trying to do some cool things, being an SLR, being a 120 film, being a almost 6x7, not a 6x6. And unfortunately those kind of ended up being its downfall. The shutters it's really complicated to use, especially considering that this was made for professional amateurs. From the readings that I read, it could have been made for women, marketed towards women with smaller hands, even though I have been using this for a week and my hands hurt so bad, so I can't even imagine having to use this in 1934. But other than that, I think that this was prime Graflex time. They had this, they had the 3A, they had the 1A. Both are really, really good cameras and really cool cameras that I hope to review someday. But this just so happens to be the only 120 in that lineup, and I think that it's really cool. You can get it for super cheap on eBay, and they may or may not work, but if you find one that works, I think you should get it. I would definitely recommend this to everybody. I'm super happy that I have this camera. I've had maybe 2 more of these. It's not even because I think that they're good. I just think that they're super fun. I think that the idea is fun. I think that Graflex was really working towards something that I wish they wouldn't have given up on, because we're talking, it took maybe 50, 40 years after that to come out with the Pentax 6x7 even. And they were super close with this, and if they just would have kept trying a little harder, we could have got there super early. But this, needless to say, wasn't very successful. But hopefully today it gets its fair share of acknowledgement. So hope you guys like this review. I'm Landon. Stay tuned for the next video. Hopefully they can become a little bit faster. It's been nicer outside, and even when I shot with this, you can tell it was super cloudy, and we might have to kind of come back and I can give a lens test, and we can see if going to f/22 provides us with some sharper images than it did, because we were shooting it wide open. But anyways, see ya.